I'm back. This is Premiere Pro CS6 tutorial number 6 by Mr. Routhier. Woohoo! And if any of you guys out at other schools are listening, howdy howdy from SUG. Okay. All right, we got our Angry Birds here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this timeline area. There's a bunch of things that you need to know for the CS6 test about this timeline. So let's bring in our Angry Bird video. If I click here and I do the, or I click the insert button, it's going to insert it in. Now I've noticed that when it does this, here let's get rid of this little thing at the beginning here. When I do that insert, notice this black band it puts around it. Okay, we've had some confusion about this in class. Let's just clear this up right now. What's happening, I'm going to delete this, is when I move the settings on the Angry Bird video are different than the settings when we turn this, when we create our project, we just kind of randomly pick a setting. And so it's forcing our Angry Bird video into that random setting. And what we want to do is we want to make sure we change the video sequence when we put it in. So if you grab Angry Birds and you drag it in by hand, it's going to give you this message. The clip Angry Birds doesn't match your sequence settings, which is that AVCHD thing that we did, or whatever we did at the beginning. So let's change those sequence settings. And now, when I play the video, it plays in its glorious HD that I downloaded it in. Okay, so that was just a little thing that was annoying me. All right, now the second thing is we want to have some audio in here to mess around with. So there's this rock star. He's kind of old. He's pretty classic. I don't know if you can remember him. From the, I think he's from the 50s. His name is Bach, and if we click on his, this is one of his rockinest pieces, Toccata and Fugue in D minor, and we'll bring that in. And then we're going to bring that into, audio too, and we'll have this play in the background along with the video. Here, let's just trim this down. Trimming, 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 trimming. I really should have just scaled it, but I've only got one hand, and I don't know. All right. So here we go. All right. So now if we play this thing, it'll play the audio from the Angry Bird. You can see that's an audio 1. And in audio 2, it will play Toccata and Fugue in D minor. So let's do that just to make sure it works. Okay, that's looking good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's looking good. Okay, now let's get to this interface. There's some things in this interface that are very important. You can probably hear my wife making spaghetti in the background. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, so let's take a look here. Here's our video setting. And you can see there's that crazy little arrow there. When the arrow is pointed to the right, all you can see is the one line. You can see the toggle track output, which is an eyeball. And what this does is it shows or hides the video. If I click that, now the eyeball's turned off, and now I can't see the video if I play it. I can hear the audio, but I can't see the video. Okay, let's turn that back on. The next thing that you see is toggle sync lock. And what this does is when you're editing your video, it's kind of assuming you want to keep everything together the way it is. And if these little toggle sync locks are all turned on, if I do something to the video, if I move it over or insert something, it will keep the videos all synced together. If I turn those off, then they all become separate entities, and if I move one, the other ones don't move with it. Okay, so that's toggle sync lock. Another thing that you should know about, if I click that little collapse expand track that you see right there, now I can see a few more options. Okay, this first one is a little bugger. This is called set display style. If I click on this, I've got a few different things I can do. Right now it's set to show head only and show markers. The head is just this. You see how you can see a piece of the video right here at the beginning? That's called the head. Here's the tail down here. So if I go here and if I do show head and tail, you'll see I see the little picture, the little frame from the beginning and the end. Or I can go in here and I can say show frames only. And now it's going to fill in every, a picture from all these different frames. And that's a little bit annoying. Let's go to show name only. Now I can get rid of all the heads and tails and frames, and I can just see the name of the trailer on there. Okay, so that's cool. And that's important to remember. So please remember that. Next is the show hide keyframe button. Okay, if I click on that, if there's any keyframes in there, I'm going to show them. Okay, if there's not, I can hide them. Great, big deal. All right, lastly, here is the keyframe section. Now this just looks like a little gray area down here. But now make sure, in order to do this, you have to click on the clip that you want to do. If I'm not clicked on any clips, notice there's nothing here. I can't do anything in here. Okay, so I'm going to clip on the click. Did I say that backwards? I'm going to click on the clip. And let's say I want to put a keyframe in here. I'm just going to click the little circle there that says Add Remove Keyframe. And boom. See that little circle that goes in there? That is a keyframe at 15 seconds, 15 and whatever, 15.06 seconds. Okay, if I want to put another one in there, I can add more keyframes. This little doodad right here jumps forward and backwards between keyframes. And then here is your show hide here. I can hide the keyframes if I want to. Okay, so that's actually important. The test expects you to know all of those little doodads. And now, as long as we're down here, let's look at the audio. There's another part of the audio that the test expects you to know about. Let's go and look at this toccata and fugue in D minor, and I'm going to hit that expand so I can see the whole thing. Now, when you look in here, you can see the audio waves, and you can also see this little yellow line. Okay, this little line, you'd think this is a little line. This is not a little line. This is called the rubber band. Cool name, huh? When I am playing with this rubber band, if I have my selection tool, the arrow, and I grab this thing and I move up, guess what happens? Oh, the volume goes up. If I go down, the volume goes down. Here, let me show you. Play this thing here. Now let's take the volume, that rubber band, and move it up. It's getting louder. Now let's grab the rubber band and go down. And now I can't hear anything except audio 1. I don't hear audio 2 at all.
Hey, Red, how are you?
Okay, it's just a cacophony right now. So, all right, so that's the rubber band. You just grab your select tool, you go up and down, and you can mess with the volume. Okay, and we can do the same thing in here as well. We've got our toggle track on and off. We've got our sync track. We can add keyframes, move between them, hide them, and then we also have our display style where we can show the wave, or if we don't like the waves, we can say, just show me the names. I don't need to see these little waves. I want to see them though. I like them. Okay, so that is our exciting timeline. Sometimes you might, I don't know whether honestly to call this a timeline or the sequence section. This is where the sequences are. And by the way, if for some reason you needed a new one, you've got your new item button over here, and you can create new sequence sessions and new other doodads if you want to. I'm running out of disk space. That's not good.